Good evening. Just want to share just something on the today's an important day to some Jews in some parts of the world. This evening will begin a holiday called Sigd, the holiday connected to the Ethiopian Jewry. Anybody heard of it before? Right. So I only know about it because I'm pretty good friends with one of the main rabbis of the one of the main rabbis of the Ethiopian Jewry in general. Like, we went to school together. So I reached out to him. I was like, "What's going on?" First off, he wrote a whole book on Ethiopian Jewry and Jewish law. He's trying to bridge the gap. There's a lot of history. We talked about this one Shabbos here, but I just want to talk a little bit about the holiday. So I was basically texting him today. I was like, "So what are you doing? Like, what do you do, Rabbi Dr. Sharon Shalom, on this day?" So Sigd is a holiday that was celebrated in Ethiopia by Ethiopian Jews. It falls 50 days after Yom Kippur. 50 days after Yom Kippur, similar to like the 50 days after Passover for Shavuot. And the purpose of the holiday is basically you've done tshuva, you've done repentance on an individual level on Yom Kippur, but in order for you as a community to come before God throughout the year in the temple, you do repentance as a community 50 days later. Kind of similar to Pesach and Shavuot. They're but connected. So they connect the two holidays, and there's a lot of customs on this day. So in Ethiopia, they used to first go in the mikvah in the morning, immerse in the morning. He's going to be doing that. They wore all white. He's doing that as well. He's also invited to give some lectures and stuff because he's kind of like a celebrity. But and then fast half of the day. And they have special prayers that they recite. And basically, they're kind of renewing the covenant as a community. There were other customs, like they would do it on top of a hill. And so in Jerusalem, in Israel, it's actually a national holiday. It was instituted in 2008 as a national holiday. And those who want to take off from work to celebrate the holiday, they're allowed to do so based on the laws of the state. In Ethiopia, they used to go on top of a hill and they used to read parts of the Torah, and some of the leader it was led by the priests, and they would carry a stone on them as a sign of submission. So I asked him, "Are you going to carry the stone?" He's like, "I've never really done that, but he gave me an idea, so we'll see if he does it." But basically, here's just what he says here: the individual must count 7 weeks. Which are enlightened with the bright light of the individual repentance and atonement of Yom Kippur. On the 50th day, the circle of the counting is closed, and we must return to the experience on Yom Kippur, but this time as a collective that has undergone a reparative experience and heightening of moral, individual, and social awareness. So the word sig means submission, like lisgod. It's to bow down, to prostrate. And so they would have special prayers that we recite. So in Jerusalem, they have 2 locations where they do it. They do it on Armona Natziv, on the there's a place called Tayelet. It's like a boardwalk where it overlooks the temple. So it's on a big hill. They do it there, and he's going to go there. They do it also in the kotel, in the court of the kotel courtyard area there. He's going to go there as well. And basically, there's certain prayers that they recite. So I'll just tell you which prayers they recite. Prayer for Jerusalem, and the high priest enjoins the congregation to observe the laws of the Torah. They read from the Torah, a story of God's revelation on Mount Sinai. They read from the book of Nehemiah, which talks about the rededication of the covenant. And they read blessings and curses from Leviticus. And then the Kohanim translate, And then toward the end, everyone asks forgiveness for their sins. They bow down on their knees, prostrate themselves, and then the shofar was blown. And they say, just as we have merited celebrating this holiday this year, so may we merit celebrating it next year in Jerusalem. So that sounds a little familiar. And then the day concludes with everyone descending the mountain in joy and dancing to the building of House of Prayer, where they hold a festive meal. So that's basically their holiday. Now, what do we do at this holiday in Pikesville, Maryland? So I was actually asking, what should we do? He's like, you could have a festive meal. You could talk about you could talk about the ideas behind it, the concepts, and I'm not taking on a new holiday for myself. I didn't really grow up with that holiday, but I do think it could be a good opportunity to take a moment and think about tshuva. Also think about Yom Kippur. Okay, we've been out of Yom Kippur, and we're going into Yom Kippur. We talk a lot about what we need to fix, that whole month, and then we just stop talking about it. So it's could be a good time to think about what you dedicated yourself to get better at on Yom Kippur, and then rededicate yourself to it on this day.